Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from paulgalenetwork.com. It is June 14th, 2021. We are about to watch the Capcom E3 2021 showcase. I am stoked. The event starts in just a couple more minutes. What do you want to see today? Well, I think we're going to have at least one surprise if rumors are true. It's always safe to curb your expectations. Don't go in hoping that we see new installments of Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Mega Man, a new Darkstalkers coming up for the first time in forever. But Capcom does have a really great pool of titles. They're one of the oldest and most consistent in the video game industry, in my opinion. And they really do a lot of genres quite well. I would love to see a glimpse of Street Fighter 6. I know that Street Fighter 5 is not yet finished when it comes to, characters, DLC, and it's not reasonable to expect that Street Fighter 6 would be like full-on reveal gameplay footage coming out next year or something like that. No, but a title now in development, Shoryuken, some cool clash of Ryu and Ken or something like that. Coming to next-gen consoles. Something like that would be really cool. Or even just Street Fighter 6 now in development. Got the logo. That's it. That would still be all right, in my opinion. There's that Resident Evil Rampage, possibly. Yes, Street Fighter or Resident Evil. Rumors exist out there. Certain leaks indicate that Capcom has a Resident Evil title potentially in development exclusively for Nintendo Switch that may come out in 2022. That would be huge to see today. A new Mega Man game, a new game in the Mega Man X series. Like I said earlier, Darkstalkers would be fantastic. New rival schools. Oof. Marvel vs. Capcom 4.
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our first stop today, Resident Evil Village. The Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror. The team has been blown away by the response to Resident Evil Village, which launched last month. It brought the world another chapter in this decades-long story as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. I'm honored to be able to introduce Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village is a really good game. I expect some DLC, maybe some backstory missions on Chris's squad.
Where's Rose?
For that matter, Resident Evil turning 25, maybe a character from the franchise pops up tomorrow as a Smash Bros. Character reveal. Greetings. Thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's played since we launched the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror. As a reminder, everyone who purchases Resident Evil Village will gain free access to our online multiplayer title, Resident Evil Re:Verse, where players go head-to-head with their favorite Resident Evil heroes and bioweapons. I'm now happy to announce that Resident Evil Re:Verse will go live next month across all supported platforms. So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
Is the audio okay, by the way, between what's on screen and me? Hopefully I have it just right. Ooh. By popular demand, development has just started on additional DLC for Resident Evil Village. More info later. Okay, so
Thank you,
An
Kanda-san,
acknowledgement,
for
which
that
is all right.
wonderful update. Next up, some long-awaited news from the world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you. First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series.
Cool, thank you.
Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin.
Okay, Monster Hunter Stories 2 should be pretty cool, especially as Monster Hunter's been developing into bigger and bigger of a franchise, especially off west. But how cool would it be if today they showed us Monster Hunter Rise is getting some special DLC in celebration of The Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary. And here you've got Link's tunic and, you know, enemies from the Zelda franchise being thrown into Monster Hunter Rise. That would be epic. But would that be shown off today or tomorrow?
All around things just
I don't know,
kept
but that would be
getting
cool.
worse.
How long is the conference?
But I heard
If I'm not mistaken,
that
it's
Guardian
40
Ratha
minutes
had
long?
survived and returned to Hekolu Island. I went there to see Red's old monster.
Not positive on that, though. We'll find out.
Then, of course, that's when I met you.
Nintendo's event tomorrow morning. That's 40 minutes.
You were given Red's kinship stone and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster, Ray's Wing Ratha, the monster with the wings of ruin.
It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and the wings of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
What's this whole idea of forming kinship with monsters? How do you control them?
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their own will. And the bonds between monsters and riders are just like your bond with Tsukino.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of these pits appearing? And who are those people who want to take Ratha for themselves? All I have are questions.
If there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no matter what.
I can sense the flames of his life force weakening. The burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
They have the power of kinship. They're friends. They're monsties. Humans carry the strength of everyone they meet. That makes them strong. My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Story looks pretty well developed. Solid amount of software for Nintendo Switch this year. Good exclusives. Oh, cool. I mean, we knew that there was going to be some crossover appeal between Rise and Stories 2, but this is extra. Palamute coming July 15th. Pretty sweet. Hey, a trial version coming up June 25th. That's in 11 days. That's cool. Yeah, we saw these amiibo recently. They look nice.
Looks pretty epic, right? And how about that announcement? The canine companion Palamute from Monster Hunter
Yeah,
Rise will be
demo.
joining Monster Hunter Stories 2 as one of the new monsties in the first free title update coming soon after the game's release. You can get an early peek at the game with the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin trial version starting on June 25th, which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th. That's not the only way to join the
you have
hunt.
a good-looking
Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise
like
a huge success earlier this year. And we have even more
build it
content
off,
coming,
combine
including a
it
new
with a little
collaboration
bit
on the
of
Rise.
Rise
Let's find out
and
more.
success from that. You might not have been a fan originally looking forward to, you know, Stories 2, but like you said, it works.
Let's go! This is for my fellow hunters!
I'm telling you, Capcom would probably have the coolest, most unexpected news of these last 3 days if they showed off Zelda crossover in their presentation this afternoon in Monster Hunter Rise. Because I think it is happening. I think those rumors are true. Capcom has teamed up with Nintendo in the past and other games to, you know, have this crossover appeal in Monster Hunter. And it's worked, including Zelda. So now's the time, man, with the 35th anniversary. And you have this game exclusive to Nintendo Switch, selling really well. You know, by the end of summer, it's going to be an 8 million selling for sure. But like I said, if it's happening, would it be shown here or at Nintendo's event?
Kamura is like my second home.
You think you can take on Rondine?
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan. With all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2 this summer. We can't wait to hear about your own stories of adventure. Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. North American and European future attorneys will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, in this action-packed
Phoenix
prequel.
Wright games are fun.
Now let's hear more about the story.
So then, let us unravel this mystery.
Welcome to the center of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible.
That reminds me, I wouldn't mind a new
becoming
Professor Layton game. Another good series.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Who are you? Herlock Sholmes. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction, Mr. Naruhodo.
Well, what have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
Is this one coming out to everything? Okay, yeah. PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch,
So
and
we have
Steam.
10 new cases and
Well, that's
8 mini
pretty good.
escapades where you can take on the role of a defense attorney. Now, we all want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a closer first look at 2 gameplay features new to the franchise in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles: Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Where to?
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming to the Ace Attorney series.
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further examination with the help of Ryunosuke's legal aid Susato and the
Maybe
brilliance
this
of
event
deduction
isn't
from Detective
40 minutes
Herlock.
long. I was gonna say, if it is, it's getting close to the halfway done point, which would mean
Herlock will
they'd
proceed
have
to
to
present
have
his logic
quite a
and
few
reasoning
more
spectacular.
announcements to come
A
because they've already
grandiose,
gone through the
yet
heavy
flawed
hitters.
series of
Resident
conjectures.
Evil Village update, Monster Hunter Stories, Monster Hunter Rise. We're getting our Ace Attorney Chronicles. Will they show off a new Street Fighter V DLC character today? Or will they wait to EVO this summer? With Sony being a sponsor of EVO, to be on the safe side, I would say that Sony would, wait till EVO, because after all, they funded Street Fighter V. But it would be cool to see a character today. Just give me some type of Street Fighter news, After all, that's one of my favorite franchises.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions. At this point, players will be prompted to search for clues that help identify the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth.
This
to
is
the
one of
mystery.
those things about presentations, time management, and how much do you show off. And understanding the flow
As
of
players
a
present new
presentation,
evidence and
which is
observations,
different than
Herlock will amend his deductions
just dropping
based on the new
one look
information.
at one game.
Upon uncovering the truth,
Something that
Ryunosuke and
Xbox
Herlock
did really
enter
well
into a semi-metaphorical,
the other day, which
semi-literal
is
dance
just
that brings them to the
his
conclusion
deliverance of
the
title
dance of
after
deduction.
title after title without much time in between. Some might say that's too fast, but in reality, they didn't waste any time. Looking at Square Enix's event yesterday, certain games have kind of a long window. When you're developing something like this, a 30-40 minute presentation, you have to be careful not to draw out any one game too long, because people want to see as many games as they can. And if there's one game that's a little bit slower paced like this, it's kind of tough to demo a game like this at E3, for instance, because E3 is so fast moving. And in terms of, presentation, like I said, it's half an hour long. A slower paced game that's taken kind of, several minutes to go through, you would see potentially people dipping out of tuning in, and you don't want that to happen. Now is also a good time, though, if you're streaming, as I am, to talk, because if you're interested, you don't want to necessarily get too much of the story down, and if you're not interested, well, then that gives the opportunity to talk about something else.
In courtroom battles, players will attempt to convince 6 jurors
This will
of the
be
innocence
a
of their
fun game,
client.
though.
Their progress will be displayed and represented by 2 scales of justice.
This is something
one
that
black, representing a guilty
typically
verdict,
better to
and one
play
white,
than
representing
to
a not
watch.
guilty verdict. Objection! In summation
At least in
examination,
long sessions,
take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
You'll have to identify conflicting statements and sway the jury in your favor. Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws in their logic.
Will they show off any Resident Evil 4 remake footage? Resident Evil 4 VR. Not that I'm not excited for 4
Ready to
VR,
provide
but
evidence
4
for the
VR
court
is
to help prove the
the
contradiction
same
of
game
their
in a
claims.
different perspective, literally in VR, which is
We
cool.
successfully point out
but
one
I
of these
want to
contradictions
see
among
what
the jurors.
Capcom's got
You
in
might
mind.
just change their minds.
What's
too.
their vision look like around
With a slam of their
the
fist,
Resident Evil
each
4
juror you
remake?
persuade will
Because
send
they
a
put
fiery
so
ball
much
towards the
effort
scales
into
above and
2
literally
and
tip
3
the scales of justice in your favor.
that those turned out to be
Bring
awesome
each contradiction to
reimaginings.
light and persuade the
4
jury
was such an
to help prove your client's
iconic,
innocence.
industry-breaking game almost, where it really set the scale. Every once in a while, you have a game that
This has just
impacts the
been a small
world of
taste.
video game design and
Exciting
development
new
so much
gameplay
that a
features
lot of other titles
Great
end up
Ace Attorney
taking
Chronicles.
influence
We are
from
very
it. Resident Evil
excited
4
to
was
get
one of
this
those.
game in the hands of both new
Not
fans
only did it shake up
and
the
diehard
franchise,
fans.
but the industry.
Thanks for watching.
It already seems like I have a
So what will they
bunch
do
of
with
games
that
to
one?
catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words from two of the stars of Capcom Fighters, Rob TV and Vicious. They'll tell us what's been going on with Capcom Esports, including updates on the Capcom Pro Tour, Intel World Open, Street Fighter League, and all the other content on Capcom Fighters. Over to you guys.
All right, closing out. Esports.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Capcom Esports presentation for E3 2021. My name is Vicious, commentator for the Capcom Pro Tour as well as Street Fighter League, here with competitive Street Fighter V player and host extraordinaire, Hollywood, Rob TV. What's going on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it, and I think that's the perfect word to describe what we have for everyone today. Street Fighter
Special
V,
reveal. Yeah,
Capcom
open
E3.
so.
It just feels right, and you feel the electricity in the air. Nice! What? That was nasty. And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter V is. The long and the short of it is this. We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100 all the way down to 0 and feel pretty goddamn good doing it.
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region, sign up for Capcom Pro Tour to prove it and become possibly a world champion at Street Fighter V.
The double perfect, the way he looked at the camera like...
Don't ever expect another man's control.
In this year's CPT overall, it's a series of tournaments that have $5,000 on the line for each tournament, but that money alone, that's not the big, that's
closing
not what's
with
really at
just
stake here.
esports,
It's about
I don't know if
making
that's
it to
big
the
enough.
granddaddy of them all.
Saying speaking of esports and speaking of Street Fighter V, let's show you what Capcom's got in development, and then boom, here's a character coming, next DLC, or here's a sneak peek, Street Fighter 6. Still a couple years out, folks, but we're in development.
And that's a place that
Come on, something like that, and
That's right. We
big.
take all of our events and broadcast it live from this stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot. 2021, we have 32 events going on in the Capcom
the
Pro Tour,
Xbox
spanning
Bethesda
across
event
19 different
did the whole
territories.
one
So
more
there's so
thing.
many opportunities for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change from what 2020 was into what we can expect for 2021.
And Mago is your first qualifier for Japan.
Exactly, thanks.
Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom
I could help
Fighters channel, you can
companies
do so
put
on a
together
plethora of platforms.
packages.
We have it on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need to become a successful Street Fighter V player, as well as catching some of the community-focused content that we have on Capcom Fighters. We have No Neutral, the official pre-show of the Capcom Pro Tour. We have sets where we take players from around the world and play off in an exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League that's happened season after season, non-stop action, 6 teams of 3, duke it out in this battle tournament series to see who will walk away with the championship and the $150,000 prize pool.
Street Fighter League is something that you don't want to miss because normally we only have 1v1 content. But now you actually have your teammates at your back, and every decision that you make is not just about you anymore.
Look for more news on Street Fighter League later this year. It's Oki time. What's going to happen?
Nice.
He checks it. He checks the movement. What's happening?
It's so good. Let's not forget, the Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing for their place in the World Finals happening next month.
I don't know.
Be sure to check out the official website for more information, including current
Be safe.
standings
You
and
just say
broadcast schedule.
it's
To
ending
commemorate
with this.
event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title and dojo object. You do not want to miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan region. We've had a couple of more events going on afterwards, but the action does not stop.
The
In
good
fact,
thing
we're
is,
going to be
too,
continuing off with the Midwest region for the Capcom
More
Pro Tour. I know
people,
you're
if there
definitely
is like
excited
some
about
kind of
that.
Street Fighter 6
100%. I mean,
announcement,
of
more
course, your
people
boy
will
is
see it
from
not
Ohio.
in this
Make sure you
stream
guys
that's
tune in to see
live,
the tournament. You
but
do
they'll see it
not
later
wanna
on when
miss
Capcom
some of
puts
the
up its
best
own
Street
Street
Fighter
Fighter
5
6
players in
teaser
the world
reveal
compete
trailer. You know what I mean?
hand-to-hand.
So, because a lot of people right now probably tuning out. But later on YouTube and whatnot, everyone will tune in to watch like a 2-minute clip, right?
Obviously, they got a rivalry. I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
Nice. Papa! That's what I'm talking about. My gold is gonna go to the limit, and I ain't gonna have to beat.
This is the ultimate Street Fighter 5 experience. This is Capcom Pro Tour.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really exciting season so far, and I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom.
Come on.
Remember to check out Capcom Fighters Twitch and
Give me
YouTube
something
channels
good.
for more information and to
Finish
watch
strong.
the latest matches. So that's a wrap for
No,
Capcom at E3
don't
this
say
year.
that.
Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil Village is
come
back
on.
with the latest installment of the survival
Gotta do
horror
the one more
experience
thing.
and RE-Verse as part of the franchise's 25th anniversary. We have new adventures to embark on in the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of Phoenix Wright and solve new cases. Finally, don't miss out on the esports fun.
No, don't say finally.
Make sure you catch the latest
I wanna hear
matches of
finally
Capcom Fighters.
in like a second.
There really is something for everyone here today. But don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the E3 portal to watch all these videos again and more. I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
Ah! Dang, that's how you ended it. See, this is also... I gotta say something. When it comes to third parties, you've got some people that are fans of everything that a third party does. You know, like, oh, I like Capcom and I like Monster Hunter, I like Street Fighter, I like Resident Evil, I like Mega Man, I like Darkstalkers, you know. So you could go through a presentation, see a few things. If they don't show your favorite IP of a franchise, of a company, at least you got some of the things that you liked. And that's fair. Like, and I liked what they showed off today. Seeing some Street Fighter stuff is cool. But it's nothing new. It's just talk of esports. Seeing Resident Evil was good. Monster Hunter was good. Ace Attorney was good, even though that segment was kind of long. It was all right, you know. But the thing is, for a lot of people watching, that's a good one. That's a good comment. That was funny. You know, let me find. Let's see. Is there a spot where we can pause on? Background image for the rest of the show. This might be a thumbnail. What would be good? Well, might not necessarily. Yeah, well, you know, we'll just go with this. We'll just go with this. The risk in having a presentation, and this one was like, 27 minutes long, with just several games and having these kind of drawn out segments without revealing anything too big, is you don't have people that are necessarily a fan of everything. So people that are waiting for their big thing to come, they're not as willing to wait for the rest. So 30 minutes is too long for people to devote to trying to hope to see, their one thing going to be shown off or not, you know? And that's why typically third parties don't really have these long presentations. It's here's all the things that we're talking about at E3. Here's our Resident Evil package, boom. Here's our Ace Attorney 1, 7 minutes, boom. Here's our esports video, boom. Not this 30-minute video that you watch through and sift through. It's no, just here's the 5-minute segment, the 4-minute segment, the 6-minute segment, and you just watch what you watch, you know. Nintendo has had great success, you know, since they started doing the Nintendo Directs several years ago, because they really understand their audience well. More often than not, if you're a Nintendo fan, you probably like the majority of their franchises, and you're going to find something big in it for you. Then again, you can never please anyone, and there are Nintendo fans that could watch a 40-minute presentation and say, you know, hated it. They didn't show off a new Ice Climbers. And like, really? You just wanted Ice Climbers? You didn't think that the new Zelda was cool, or the Hyrule Warriors, or the new Star Fox Zero? Nothing, right? You have people like that too. But more likely than not, you're going to have some satisfaction. Microsoft and PlayStation, as they have, you know, been more and more online in terms of their presentations being in this kind of pre-recorded format, they've found a way how to, I don't want to say mimic in a bad way, but replicate kind of Nintendo's presentation means and found success. When it comes to third parties, though, now that they have fewer IP, because someone like Capcom, Square Enix, they have a lot. Bandai Namco, they could do a lot with it. But do they want to show all of them? Do they have all of those games ready? Overall, smaller studio might not be able to achieve that. Overall, Capcom's event was still fine. It was still fun. I liked it. I wished it had that one new shocking announcement, that one new game. That's honestly a little bit surprising. But they said, here's what to expect at E3. So people shouldn't have been like, okay, Street Fighter 6, Resident Evil on Nintendo Switch, oh, crossover, this, a brand new Marvel vs. Capcom game. Like, we can't help it because we love Capcom's IP. We really want to see a brand new Mega Man. That's just in us, right? But they told us what to expect. I guess it's just the fanboys, the fangirl in us that more of us probably wanted. Crossing our fingers. Can you give us that one extra thing? And they didn't. But it was still cool of what we got to see. You never know. There's always tomorrow. Isn't the Nintendo presentation tomorrow? Yes, it is. And I will be live streaming that one as well. That one's going to take place 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And it will be from 9 to 9:40. And then immediately following is going to be 3 hours of Nintendo Treehouse Live. Now, at least once before, there was a major game shown off within the first couple of minutes of a Nintendo Treehouse Live, right after the Nintendo Direct of 2017 took place, where they showed Metroid Prime 4 now in development. Here they went into the Nintendo Treehouse Live portion, and a couple of minutes in, they showed off Metroid Samus Returns for 3DS. Like, whoa, that's cool. You didn't want to show that in the Direct? Hey, it was cool. We got it right then and there, and it was nice. So I would say that the majority of the games that Nintendo's going to show off tomorrow are going to be in that first 40 minutes. If I had a guess, like, I'm trying to think. They know people want Breath of the Wild 2 so badly. Do they open up with footage of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 with coming November 2021, bam, and have this awesome trailer, and then go into Mr. Eiji Aonuma talking to this, or maybe it's March next year, or, you know, whatever it is. Is that how they open it? And then they finish with one more thing. We know you've been waiting for a while. It's been a long time coming. Enjoy. And it's Space Metroid Prime 4. They saved that one for the end. Is that how they do it? Or at the very end, if they had like Zelda to start off, a Smash Brothers character, you know, right after. They had a couple of big games in there, and then they finished with one more Smash character, and that last Smash character is Master Chief, which would probably be the biggest internet shaking moment of E3 2021. I don't know. Nintendo Switch Pro, maybe? Nintendo in their Direct page, they said, focusing on software for the Nintendo Switch. So, I'd say there's always a chance that they show off the Nintendo Switch Plus, or whatever they want to call it, tomorrow, but I don't think so. I think all of this talk about the new Nintendo Switch console, the revision, the more powerful model, being ready for E3, shown off before E3, was very premature. I think it does exist. It is coming out. It is in development, but it's not Nintendo's timeline right now to release it, to reveal it. I think they're going to stick to like a window of 30 to 60 days before the system is available. That's when they're going to show it off for the first time, so they don't cannibalize their own sales. If this thing's not coming out till November and they showed it off now, you have 5 months to wait for a Nintendo Switch Plus. You're going to have some people that say, I won't buy a Switch now, I'll just wait. So then do you price drop the current Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Lite because people know, well, at least now I could either wait or, you know what, I'll get the normal Nintendo Switch. It's significantly less because now it's on a price reduction. Too many extra things to worry about. You don't want to disappoint fans either and say, like, drop it next week, Nintendo Switch Plus, because then you'll have too many people that said, dude, there was no heads up and I just bought my system yesterday and you're telling me in 7 days, if I knew that all I had to do was wait 8 days to get the system, I would have held off and gladly spent another $50 or $100. There are people like that too. If you give people a 2-month window, they know what they're going to expect. You'll still have some disappointed that they bought it, but this is a way that Nintendo could, satisfy the fans by giving them enough heads up and satisfy investors and work well from a business perspective of still maximizing how many sales Nintendo could sell every month until the release of a brand new piece of hardware. It's probably going to be sold out fast. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if there will be scalpers and price gougers. That's true. But I don't know. It's exciting to think about how Nintendo's going to open up tomorrow. They could start off with a Smash Bros. Reveal and carry throughout the show, and with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. And that will be a perfect segue rolling into Nintendo Treehouse Live, where we get footage and gameplay portion of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. And that sounds absolutely fantastic. So that's how I think. I think they're going to end the show with either like a big game reveal, but depending on the game reveal, it not carry into Treehouse, but the Treehouse start off with Smash Brothers, or they end with a Smash character. They start the Treehouse with Smash, or they end with Breath of the Wild 2 and start Treehouse with Breath of the Wild 2. I know that's 3 different possibilities, but I think they are the 3 most likely. I think they want to end with a banger. It's very exciting. Doug Bowser's going to be there tomorrow. I can't wait. I can't wait. I think it's at this point, it's a situation where it's Nintendo's show to lose. It's Nintendo's show to win easily. Not to disrespect, Square Enix, Xbox, Capcom, or Intellivision, which had a good presentation this morning for the Amico. Of course, we don't know what Bandai Namco is going to show tomorrow, but really I think you look at Nintendo, they don't have to do much to win E3, I think, in most gamers' eyes. Certainly in mine. They show off Breath of the Wild 2. They show off 1 or 2 Smash Brothers characters, and one of them is somebody really big and unexpected, or expected but still awesome and satisfying, like Crash Bandicoot. They don't have to show off all of them, but if they show off Metroid Prime 4, or Mario Kart 9, or Bayonetta 3, or a new Donkey Kong, or a new Kirby, or a 2D Metroid, all 6 of those games are either in development, rumored to be in development, or of those 6, some are likely to show up tomorrow. And then you've got Shin Megami Tensei 5 with that leak. That's probably going to show up tomorrow. So I think it's reasonable to expect a good Nintendo showing. Splatoon 3 seems safe. That's a 2022 title. We did not have a Pokemon Presents the week before E3, and sometimes we do. So could they show off, here's Diamond and Pearl, and it looks significantly better than when they first showed it off. Here's Arceus, and significantly improved visuals. You know, those are a couple of titles. See, they don't have to show off all of those games, but you know, give us Zelda, a Smash character, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and 1 or 2 of those other ones, and I think you win E3. Now, it also depends on the type of gamer, because you could have watched Xbox's event with Bethesda and just been blown away. And I'll admit, it was a really good show. It had Halo Infinite, which looked great, much improved. Starfield looked nice. Forza Horizon 5 looked terrific. Lots of big collaborations, cool announcements like, okay, on Xbox Series X, you're going to get an exclusive next-gen upgrade with 4K ray tracing, 60 frames per second gameplay of Doom Eternal, some other crossovers, collaborations with different studios, really pushing Game Pass. Like, for some people, that's going to be their E3. Xbox One. And maybe they're just not that big of a fan of, you know, Zelda and Mario and Donkey Kong and Kirby and Metroid, and that doesn't do it for them. But I think if you're overall a fan of video games, you probably like a little bit of everything, hopefully. I know some people that just totally hate or totally rule off one particular company, whether it's one of the big 3 or a third-party developer. And I don't really understand that, you know. But hey, to each his or her own. Still, I'm looking forward to Nintendo tomorrow. I know we ended up talking a lot longer after the Capcom event ended. It was only like 27 minutes long, and here we are at 42 minutes, so good amount of time extra just chatting, but hey, pretty fun. I've had a good time. All right. Thanks for watching with me. This is Paul Gale Network signing out. I will see you tomorrow morning for the Nintendo Direct. I cannot wait. I'm the most hyped for it, not gonna lie. That also means that since I'm like hyped through the roof, 10 out of 10, I'm expecting an absolute banger of a show. It also means the greatest potential for disappointment when they don't show off 2 Smash Bros. Characters. It's just one, and the one that they showed off was like, oh, well, that's cool, but that's not who I kind of hoped or want. Somehow, mysteriously, no Metroid gets shown, no Donkey Kong, no Zelda, even Breath of the Wild 2. It's just, you know, Skyward Sword, which, okay, that's cool, but we already saw it. Like, it's very unlikely for Nintendo to fail me tomorrow, but if they didn't give anything new or substantial, that would be a pretty crushing blow, right? But I don't think that's likely. I think Nintendo's going to nail it. I could feel it. I could feel it. I got the electricity. It's pumping through, man. I'm telling you. All right. Longer outro because I just can't contain my excitement, so I had to keep going. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day, too. Take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow for more. Bye.